Gregory lets you in. You hear a shrill, unpleasant laugh, and you realize Sophie's having a guest over. He's the man from Elysium, the one with the glasses and good taste in suits. You didn't have the chance, another typo. You didn't have the chance to talk to him last you saw him. Ah, Carl, so glad to see you. Tell me, did the two of you previously meet? The man doesn't wait for an answer. He approaches you with an energetic, almost dance-like step and puts out his hand. Is that a beard? No, that's a scarf. Okay, I was gonna say, is that a beard? Dude, you look ugly as hell. Thomas Arturo, I've heard about you. Pleasure, pleasure. Thomas is a great source of gossip and an excellent conversationalist. I also have the prince's ear, which is the primary reason dear Miss Langley wished to speak to me tonight. Good gossip, even coming from me, it isn't nearly as valued. Sad. Sophie is taken aback by the man's direct comment, but smiles politely. The awkward atmosphere is broken again by the guest's grating laugh. I kid, of course, I kid. Well, I was about to leave anyway, so I'll leave you two to it. Good night, Sophie. Carl, Greggy boy. Sophie's driver opens the door for Arturo, and the guest steps out with a single wave of the hand towards his host and you. The door closes. So, what's his deal? Same as everyone's. Position, power, influence. Thomas has clout in court and has access to many juicy details on everyone from the prince to the lowliest primogen. It's useful to have him on your side, even if his eccentricity requires some patience. Speaking of patience, you have been putting mine to the test lately. Did you manage to contact Kaiser and acquire what I asked for? Yes, but I had to do another job for him first. Yes, I have it, but the data you offered was old news to him. I had to do another job for him before he could give me his card. She retrieves the envelope from you. I'm sure he did. I do hope it wasn't too much of an inconvenience. He made me go on an entirely separate escapade to retrieve a bottle of wine from a store in Nolita. I had to use code phrases and whatnot. Wine shop? Code phrases? That degenerate pest. She's visibly agitated, but calms down and smiles at you. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure that whatever Kaiser had you do, it'll blow over. She opens the envelope and looks at the card. You notice the same lettering you saw on Kaiser's note from before, but can't see the details. Her eyes widen. And before I forget, I also need to have sound from this game. Continue. Yes, excellent. I need to call in some favors. I will likely be busy for the next few nights. You have my permission to show some initiative, my dear Charge. I will contact you soon. With that, Sophie ushers you outside and you are left to do with the rest of these night's hours as you like. Okay, it's exactly midnight. What? Oh. Part 1. I think this is gonna be a priority. I need to make sure I'm not gonna be followed for long. Someone is following you around. Has been for a few nights, maybe longer. That can be a good thing. The only question is what to do about it. Provoke the stalker to appear. It's time to show my fangs. You venture out to the street with the goal of letting your stalker know you're aware of being followed. It's time to stop this ridiculous charade, whatever. It's raining outside, and as you step onto the streets in front of your haven, you wonder whether that'll help you. Will you be able to see the footprints of your stalker in puddles on the ground? Not sure where to start, you slip a few bills to a homeless man and chat up the guy who runs the local bodega. Both of them talk your ear off about strange characters hanging around, but none of their stories seem right to you. Walking the streets, you're convinced by turns that everyone you see is an enemy agent out to get you, and that your stalker has decided to take the night off. Frustrated after a couple of hours, useless searching, you cross the road without looking where you're going. A courier on a motorbike zooms towards you and has no time to brake or swerve as you suddenly step in front of him. For a split second, your eyes meet those of the man on the bike and you both know you'll collide. You'll get hurt. Something hits you, pushing you forward. You tumble, flying to the sidewalk as the courier zooms past. You feel a weight on your back, catch a glimpse of something. A person. Female, you think. And then she disappears. You could spend a couple more hours trying to find the woman who's been stalking you, but in your shriveled, undead heart, you know it to be futile. She's gone. Now that was a fucking waste. Okay, I'm gonna risk it. What's gonna happen if I am to meet? That was the Gangrel, and this was the Malkavian. Okay, I got a Tremere, I got a Nosferatu. I think I'm gonna go for a Gangrel. I need a fighter in the coterie. And no, okay, so it doesn't let me. I'm gonna rest. Oh, damn. A nosy reporter. Fate meet again. There's so much shit to do. Okay, I said I'm gonna need a fighter. I'm gonna go with Jezebel. Jezebel's Childer. You make your way through the Grand Army Plaza, passing the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch. You can't help but feel a tinge of nostalgia as you picture the place as you've seen it countless times, in broad daylight, teeming with life. You quickly get over it and pass through the northwest gate into Prospect Park. The park is its usual maze of unkempt foliage and dimly lit alleys. Silence hangs in the air, as it would at this time of night, and there doesn't appear to be any signs of Kindred presence. You start to suspect Langley's source fed her a bunch of bullshit, but you're not willing to give up just yet. Okay, so it's these quests, or at least from what I see, are not time sensitive. Hopefully. As you ponder your options, you hear footsteps coming from behind the line of trees. Quick, but eventually paced. But evenly paced. Most likely a late night jogger. No vampire would take kindly to you feeding in their domain, but then again, perhaps you could kill two birds with one stone. I am still hungry. I was told that New York is more loose when it comes to the feeding rights in domain. So I'm gonna give it a try. You lock onto the sound of footsteps, predicting the runner's path. You move swiftly, but quietly to intercept them. You hide behind the tree and wait for your prey to get closer. Mere seconds later, a young man in an off-brand tracksuit trots into view. You notice the buds in his ears, bit heavy music bleeding through. That should make these things easier. Just as the man passes by, you emerge from behind him and plant your hand firmly on his neck. He struggles at first, desperately trying to break free of your grasp, but as soon as your fangs pierce his skin, panic gives way to peaceful submission. You feel elated as the warm liquid trickles down your throat. The fresh vitae washes over your senses, sending an orgasmic shiver along your spine. Somewhere, in the deepest, darkest crevices of your mind, the beast stirs in its slumber. You stop feeding just in time. Your hunger satiated, the beast fast asleep. You sit the dazed victim on a nearby bench. As the world comes back into focus, you suddenly realize that something is not right. In a split second, the air by the side of your head swirls like a vortex. Driven by sheer instinct, you lean back just as 5 finger-shaped razors cut through darkness, missing your face by an inch. A clawed shadow jumps back a few paces, preparing to correct its mistakes. You catch a glimpse of the assailant. Looks pretty animalistic. Alright, but he's not the one you're looking for. For starters, it's a he. Just as he's about to lunge at you, a snarl resounds from the bushes nearby, stopping your foe in their tracks. Out of the shadows emerges a young woman, baring her teeth ever so slightly. She walks over, calmly, her eyes fixed on your assailant. Her presence is enough to make him reconsider attacking you, but not to withdraw completely. He glances over to her, puffing up his chest. Stay out of it, damn! I smell her first. Damn. How about that? She raises an eyebrow, but remains silent. Her compatriot turns back towards you. You shouldn't have come here, girly. I'm gonna fuck you up so badly you're gonna be wearing your tongue as a fucking necktie. Tamika looks at you, expectantly. She's a gang girl. She respects strength. Am I gonna risk it again? This motherfucker almost clawed me. I'm a Ventrue. I'm not made to fight. I finally understand that. So, I'm gonna use what I know best. Your eyes find his, and your words become imperatives, grasping your victim's mind like a vice. You're getting ahead of yourself, little doggy. Go on now. Get. Noticing what is happening, Tamika looks at you with anger and disbelief. Her friend staggers and shifts his weight, barely managing to stay on his feet. Fighting against the strain, he sinks his claws into the back of his head. Few drops of blood trickle from his nose. You Ventrue bitch! I'll rip your tits and feed them to ya. A fierce growl echoes across the alley, stopping the savage in his tracks. Tamika walks over to her comrade, her fangs glistening in the dim light. She puts her hand on the side of his head, caressing his hair and tugging at his hair, as if she was scolding a puppy. She leans over and speaks in a voice that's firm, yet oddly affectionate. It's okay, Raul. I'll handle it from here. The male gangster looks at her with a mix of timidity and resentment. Then he turns back towards you. So that's how it's gonna be, huh? He yanks his head back and aims a gob of bloody spittle straight at your feet. Get fucked, both of you. Having said his piece, Raul retreats into the shadows, although if you were to guess, he's likely to stay within earshot. With her companion gone, Tamika turns to you once more. What do you want? Straight to the point, huh? I like that. I don't care what you like. Now quit stalling. You have something to say, say it. I come here with an offer. I'm willing to offer you my services such as they are. All I would hope for in return is a fruitful, long-lasting relationship. So, you want to help me with something because you want to be my friend? That about right? Yeah, when you put it in that way, it does sound corny, doesn't it? Uh-huh. She puts out a veneer of skepticism, but you can't tell she's intrigued. Corny is not bad, though. I think I'm okay with corny. Right, I'm not okay with is putting my ass on the line and getting stabbed in the back for my trouble. So why exactly should I trust anything you say? Her expression sours in an instant. I can make your way. For a moment there, you almost had me fooled. I should have known better. Tamika looks to the side as if you've hurt her feelings. From what you've seen so far, it's an oddly emotive reaction for her. Quick to realize, she straightens up and turns her piercing gaze towards you. We have nothing more to talk about. Look, clearly we started off on the wrong foot. Yes, you did. Now leave. I will only ask once. Failed to recruit somebody into your coterie. Well, shit. Not everyone likes the Ventrue approach. And with that, you take your leave. You know better than to argue with a scorned gangrel. Still, you can't help but feel a tingle of regret. This could have been the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Okay, that was a fucking waste. I'm curious, fate and meat. Let's continue with that. And tomorrow night, I'm gonna go again for D'Angelo. And now that I'm one short, I really need to make sure I'm gonna get a Malkavian. I want to have at least 3 members in the coterie. Too bad that was the fighter that I lost. You make your way through the now familiar rusty maze of the grain terminal and end up on the stairs. Oh, that was D'Angelo. Ah, fine, I'll do it tomorrow. D'Angelo's office. This time, however, you find the room firmly locked. There's a note pinned to the door. You rip it off and scan the crooked lettering. There's been another one. There's been another one. At the scene now. Come to Bed-Stuy, I don't know what's that. Corner of Pulaski and Garvey. ASAP. Looks like D'Angelo could use your help. Better get going. As you approach the address D'Angelo gave you, a squad car passes you by, sirens blaring. Following it, you make a turn from DeKalb Ave onto Pulaski Street. What the fuck are these names? Okay. Sure enough, the street is awash with red light and the four or so police cars parked on the nearest corner, next to an ambulance. Confirm that you're in the right place. You move closer to what happens to be a New Yorker's finest convention, looking around in the hopes of spotting a familiar, if not altogether pleasant face. No such luck. True to his Nosferatu lineage, D'Angelo is nowhere to be seen. You stop on the sidewalk across the street, trying not to draw attention to yourself. All of a sudden, one of the cops standing by the entrance to the building looks straight at you. He does a double take, and you instinctively look away. Bad move, you think to yourself as you notice him making his way towards you. Everything is just suspicious. I'll just calmly wait for him to approach. Not allowing panic to set in, you stand your ground, doing your best ordinary citizen impression. The cop waddles across the street towards you, his sense of authority putting that extra spring in his step. You try to remain calm, even as he puts his hand on his holster. Shit, you can't help but mouth the word. This is about to get messy. Suddenly, he stops, as if he instinctively realizing that he was just inches away from a grisly demise. He waves at you dismissively and yells in a thick Brooklyn accent. Hey, here's an active crime scene. Be on your way. Relieved by trying not to show it, you put on your grumpy New Yorker face and start to walk away. As you make your way past a dark alleyway, someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you into the shadows. If the smell of cigars and cheap cologne didn't give him away, the gravelly voice sure does. Nice save. I mean, dumb to show your face around here in the first place, but still. Come on, I'm parked around the corner. Before you know it, you're sitting in the passenger seat of a busted old sedan parked half a block away, giving you a nice view of the police gathering. No. Keep the beast at bay. Keep the beast at bay. He needs to get inside. Either I'm gonna do a charisma roll or that's gonna be another dominate. Or maybe even a presence. I'm gonna try. Why don't I talk to them? I might convince them to let us in. He gives you a look as if you just let rip a massive fart. Right. Look, it's not that I don't trust you, but how about we give that raw animal magnetism of yours a dry run, huh? Pretend I'm one of the cops guarding the entrance. Convince me to let you in. I'll pose as a tenant. Evening, officer. I live here. Is there a problem? Yeah, this here's an active crime scene. Be on your way. But, hey, it's your butt against mine. Get lost. Yeah, maybe you're right. Of course I am. So, what has he got? Hey, how about you do your shadowy skulky thingy? Maybe you can find some way to let me in from the inside. Shadowy skulky thingy? Jesus, kid. Childish phrasing aside, it's as good as approach as any, I guess. Did you really wait for me to say that? Like, for real? Without another word, he gets out of the car and heads for a nearby back alley. You watch in silence as he disappears into the shadows. A minute passes. Then another one. And another one. You begin to worry. What if there were more cops inside? What if your moodly partner has got himself in trouble? Suddenly, a shadowy silhouette appears in one of the windows on the second floor. Looks like he made it after all. At least, you hope it's him. The shadow waves at you and points to the corner of the building, opposite to the cops. You get out of the car and quietly make your way towards the alley. Sure enough, you find that a fire escape ladder has been conveniently dropped for you. Good work, D, you mumble to yourself as you climb to the second floor. Finding the crime scene proves easy enough. You just follow the yellow police tape, and before you know it, you're standing in the middle of what used to be someone's living room. I wish it was better, easier to understand, the actual writing. The place has been completely trashed, knocked over furniture, shattered glass, the works. Looking around, you notice a sign scribbled on a nearby wall. It reads, "His gift, our fate." How the fuck do you decipher this? I don't understand shit. Continue. Sure enough, there's very little in terms of blood, save for the occasional stain that's bound to end up on the carpet once you toss someone through a glass coffee table. Again. Oh, sorry, wrong one. His gift, our fate. The other one was blood, fate, blood curse, something like that. Okay. D'Angelo leans against the doorway. He seems lost in his thoughts, sucking on his cigar compulsively and mumbling to himself. You lean over a bit, trying to make it obvious that you're listening in. You manage to catch the last few lines of his monologue. The night's been kind to them so far, but the question kept piling on, and now they found themselves amidst the wreckage of another life. It was up to them to sift through the debris and come up with a neat little pile of answers. Is he monologuing? Suddenly he tenses up, as if he's sensing your eyes upon him. Feel free to chip in, kid. Anything catch your eye? No blood, same as before. At least none spilled. So what does that tell us? That this was a feeding, that the killer is Kindred, might be the one we're after. Might doesn't make right. Let's not make assumptions until we see the body. Still, the pattern is consistent. God damn it, I hate where this is going. Which is me being right about thin blood involvement, I mean. Anyway, looks like we're not getting any more out of this place. No way around it. We gotta see the body. I don't know. You have a thing for thin bloods, D. Cause it looks like you're desperately trying to prove that they are not involved in this. Look, kid, the Dustborn have shitty luck as it is. I'm gonna accuse one of them of breaching the Masquerade. The least I can do is some goddamn due diligence. He shoots you a scornful look. Like a goddamn detective, I would. So he really wants to be a detective. Or he was a detective. Until he became a Nosferatu. He mumbles to himself for a short while, but ultimately he regains his composure, and his train of thought. Luckily for us, I might know someone who could get us an audience with our dearly departed. To your surprise, he pulls out a cell phone, a busted old clamshell. He flips it open and spends a good minute browsing through the contacts, muttering to himself. Finally, he makes a call. Hey. No, hey. You know who this is? Yeah, that favor you owe me. Time to deliver it. Listen, I know you got a fresh one. The murder in Bed-Stuy. I need to take a look. Yes, now. Yeah, you'd better. With that, he hangs up and gives you his trademark wry smile. Wait, aren't cell phones an issue for the Camarilla? Only if you tell them. I probably should get to myself. Yeah. Look, kid, I don't use it willy-nilly, alright? It's for special occasions. You don't always have time to throw fucking rocks at windows. Can you live with that? Or should I worry about being sent to the principal's office? Relax, D, I'm not gonna rat on you. Shoots you a smile. For some reason, it seems less crooked than usual. Good to know, kid. Anyway, looks like my guy's gonna come through. Next stop, Kings County. Kings County, the bleeding heart of Brooklyn. It's beating as hard as ever, with ambulance after ambulance bringing in sick and wounded New Yorkers to be pumped through the tight arteries of the healthcare system. It's a dangerous place for a Kindred to show their face. Incessantly another hard word, crowded and full of people who specialize in noticing all sorts of physical afflictions, especially the sort that make you up the very essence of a vampire existence. For instance, death. Thankfully, your business here tonight keeps you away from the hectic human hive of the ER. Instead, you follow D'Angelo to a relatively quiet part of the underground parking lot. That's close to your current point of interest, the Kings County morgue. Having found yourself a convenient and suitably unlit spot near the hospital wall, you wait patiently for D'Angelo's contact to appear. Every now and then, you glance over at the undead gumshoe, as if to make sure his moldly mug isn't showing any signs of worry. It isn't, or at least he's very good at hiding it. Finally, after 30 minutes or so, a lone figure emerges from a side entrance. As the human-shaped shadow walks by, you're quick to recognize him as the EMT you saw back at the murder site. Clearly nervous, the 20-something-year-old redhead can't seem to help but look back and make sure no one is following him. Finally, he stops and lightens up a cigar. Without even looking in your direction, he makes a puff and exclaims, seemingly no one in particular, "Room 112, you got 20 minutes. D'Angelo speaks without looking at you. That's our cue. You follow the fanged detective through the same door the EMT walked out of. Luckily, this wing of the hospital seems unusually empty. Still, the confidence with which D'Angelo makes his way through the white and green corridors makes it clear he's been here before. Finally, he stops in front of the doors. Room 112. That's your stop. The room is small, with only one oversized freezer by the wall and a single slab mounted in its center. Sure enough, the body of a middle-aged man is played out on its steel surface. Even for a dead man, he seems unnaturally pale. Extreme blood loss will do that to you. Try out as you might, you can't help but look at the man's face, his features twisted in abject horror. This was not a peaceful death. Looking closely, you notice two small puncture wounds on the victim's neck. If ever there was a clearer sign of a vampire attack, you've yet to see it. Looking over D'Angelo, you notice his lips moving in a familiar fashion. He's narrating again. Before he can utter an intelligible word, you cut in with a remark. Sucked dry, just like the last one. Yeah, I'm guessing you noticed the teeth marks as well. He points at two barely visible marks on the victim's neck. Dead giveaway. Fuck! As if on cue, the door swings open. A tired-looking man with a stethoscope around his neck walks in. His eyes fixed on his clipboard. He doesn't appear to notice you. Yet. Not the best time to attempt a feeding. Let's hide behind the freezer. Quickly, quietly, you hop behind the oversized freezer, hoping D'Angelo will follow suit. Pressed against the wall, you tense up, hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. The room, however, remains silent. You peer out from behind the freezer to assess the situation. The doctor calmly looks over the victim, jots something down on his clipboard and walks out. If you could breathe a sigh of relief, you would. So hard. D'Angelo materializes from the shadows, lingering against the wall across from you. He gives you a slight nod. Nice save, kid. My first instinct was to jump him, but hey, whatever works, it works. Mine was too, brother, but just I was like, nah, let's not attack him yet. Now come on, let's get out of here. Time to pay our dear Primogen another visit. Robert Larson's home looks about the same as last time. No added security, no angry dogs prowling the yard. It appears that the tame-blooded Primogen would rather risk another visit from his old pal, D'Angelo, than to arouse suspicion of his family and neighbors. Which is good, considering that's what he's about to get. Sure enough, the light of Larson's study is on, and you even catch a glimpse of the man inside, shuffling around the room. You look over D'Angelo, wondering how you're going to get Larson's attention this time. Without a single word, D'Angelo walks over to a nearby street lamp and leans against it, making sure he's visible to any and all who happen to look. Looks like time for subtlety is over. It only takes a couple of minutes for Larson to take notice. You see him lean against the window and storm out of the room. In mere seconds, he's out in front of D'Angelo's face. Listen to me, you moldy fuck. I've just had about enough of your shit. You wanna pester me? Fine, but leave my family out of it. For a moment, D'Angelo just stands there, motionless, allowing Larson to get his frustration out. Suddenly, he grabs the thin blood by the collar, lifts him up to the ground, and smashes his back against the lamppost. Are you finished? Alright, now listen to me and listen good. You think I'm enjoying this? You think I like to be jerked around? You think I got nothing better to do than hang around this little puppet theater you've made for yourself? Now, either you give me a lead I can follow, or I'll start remembering things you'd rather forget. For the first time since you met him, Larson looks speechless, his eyes wide with fear. He can only mutter under his breath, "You wouldn't dare. Try me." Cue awkward silence. You stand there, shifting your eyes from one vampire to the other. He's a thin blood, not really a vampire, but details. Guess it's time to either press the advantage or play the good cop. I need D'Angelo on my side. I'm gonna go with him. Come on, Larson, just give us something. It's been a rough night. See, Robert, my assistant here is tired of your shit too. So, what's it gonna be? If you want my help, put me the fuck down. With his feet back on the ground, Larson straightens his collar in a faint attempt at preserving some shred of dignity. There's a place in Manhattan, Lower East Side, one of the few places in the city where my people can find shelter. Yeah, I know it. If you go there right now, you might find what you're looking for. D'Angelo looks at him for a moment, just long enough to make it uncomfortable. With better. Finally, D'Angelo loosens his grip. You both watch Larson limp back to his house, looking back over his shoulder, like he's gonna tell the teacher on you. You look on your partner, meaning to ask what that whole things you rather forget deal was. As if sensing your curiosity, D'Angelo cuts in with a preemptive mutter. Come on, we got what we came for. As you reach the address Larson gave you, you find yourself standing in front of what looks like an old garage. On the outside, this place looks like an interesting... On the outside, the place looks as uninteresting as it gets. You'd think it abandoned, if not for the few barely working lights illuminating its shabby facade. Once you're inside, however, if ever there was a place worthy of being called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, this is probably it. The room is littered with drunks and crackheads, human and thin blood alike, their minds lost in their cruel little worlds, their bodies splayed out across the floor. D'Angelo leans over and whispers in your ear, I'll cover the back door, you stay near the front. Let's look around and see what we can find. Before you can ask what exactly you're supposed to be looking for, D'Angelo disappears into the shadows. Look around quietly. If I make too much noise, this might just trigger a panic. Doing your best to blend in with the crowd, which is fairly difficult considering your upright position, you slowly make your way across the large room. Not really knowing what you're looking for, you focus on the details. A knowing smirk, a hateful stare, anything that looks even the slightest bit suspicious. After a dozen or so empty stares, you're almost ready to give up, when suddenly something catches your eye. A young, skinny woman hunched in the corner of the room. She gives you a bewildered look, a 1,000-yard stare that tells you beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's her. As you walk towards her, D'Angelo emerges from the shadows right next to you. Nice catch. He kneels down beside her. You can tell he's trying to sound as comforting as possible, but with his gravely timbre, is not really working out. Hey, it's okay, we're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk. No, don't talk. Too loud. Yeah. I'm not good at... yeah, whatever. She seems halfway out of it. It's like the lights are on, but whoever is inside is stumbling around after one hell of a bender. All right, you look quiet. You look quiet. All right, you look quiet. Got it. Can you tell me your name? Sana. That's what he called me. Suddenly, you hear the door swing open behind you. Even though the night is fairly warm, a cold chill runs down your spine. You look towards the entrance. There is a woman standing there, and something about her just screams Kindred. Even though she seems comically overdressed for the situation, somehow you don't feel like cracking a smile. Whoever she is, you can tell she means business. She starts making her way to the back of the room, not making any effort to sidestep any of the junkies and drunks. They all know well enough to get away from her. Acting out of bravery of sheer stupidity, you walk up to her. She looks at you as if you are something she just scraped off her shoe. You smile nervously, without even knowing it. Oh, I think she has she has awe activated. As soon as you open your mouth, her hand shoots out, grabbing you by the throat. The woman looks at you, tilting her head, as if examining a curious species of insect. Suddenly, her eyes shift as she notices something behind you. Her face turns from disgusted curiosity to sheer annoyance. Damn, nice hair though. You. Hey Val, that's my assistant you got there. Do you mind? She rolls her eyes. You feel the grip on your neck loosen and you awkwardly fall to your feet. She makes her way towards D'Angelo, pushing you aside like a rag doll. Where is she? You're gonna have to be a bit more specific, darling. Don't play coy, Jeannie. The manslayer, I know she's here. A blood hunt has begun. By order of the prince herself, the girl is to meet her final death. Hold your horses, honey. I'm conducting an investigation under the auspices of the sheriff. That counts for something too. Look, sweetie, I'm not here for some cleat measuring contest. You want this to get ugly? Be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you step away and let me do my job. By all means. He steps aside in a comically exaggerated fashion. You look at the corner where you last saw Sana, but find no trace of the girl. Well, I could swear she was just here. Valerie looks at D'Angelo. She smiles softly, but you can tell she's trying very hard not to rip his head off. You'll regret this. Story of my life. Without another word, she turns on her heel and storms out. D'Angelo waves his hand in your general direction. Come on, kid, let's get out of this shithole. As you emerge from said shithole, you feel the cool night breeze caress your face. It's soothing and almost makes you forget how shitty the last few hours have been. Almost. Okay, kid, I know you've got questions, but it's getting early and I don't feel like having a Q&A session right now. For now, you get one question. Make it count. What should I ask? Who is Valerie? Do you know where the girl went? I have a feeling he left her go. He doesn't know where she is. What do we do now? No. Who the hell is Valerie? Valerie, huh? Who the hell is she? She's a... Oh, I was almost killed by a scourge. That's a great start. She's a scourge kid, part enforcer, part assassin, and all-around pain in the ass. If she finds that girl before we do, we'll never find out why she did what she did. And before we ask, yes, we've run into each other in the past. No, I don't feel like talking about it. Alright, kid, I don't know about you, but I'm turning in. I'll figure out some stuff and keep looking out for the girl. Feel free to swing by the office in a night or two. And with that, he stumbles off into the distance, not even bothering to keep to the shadows. Can't say you blame him. It really has been a rough night. My stomach is killing me. Okay, and